Hiya, my name's Charlie and welcome to my channel, and today, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be showing you all the books that I've got saved on my Scribd currently. And this is something that is added to daily and changing. If you have Scribd, you understand. But it's kind of, I feel like I wanted to do this because I think it gives you people that don't have Scribd like an idea kind of what's on there, and also an idea kind of what my taste is in case you're new to my channel. So yeah, just I thought it would be interesting. So without further ado, here are the books. I'm going to start with Dear Synthurian by Koki Mezi. They are my favourite author. I'm loving this memoir. They talk about so many things within it, about chronic health, and all the other usual stuff to do with the publishing and just so many things. I'll talk about this more in my wrap up, but you might have already seen it. Yeah, I love this book. I've also got Poulin Devi's Rebel Queen. This is another one I've just read, which I've enjoyed. I've got Love After the End, which is a two-spirit anthology. So this is one I picked for Tansgale April, but it's actually been on my TBR for a while, that I've been meaning to get to. The Plague by Albert Camus. I feel like this was recommended by Risha. Yeah, Risha, whose channel I'll link below, recommended this, and also made me want to get to it. I've got Disfigured which is On Fairy Tales, Disability and Making Space by Amanda Leduc. This is one I'm sort of like parking for May because my sister's running a disability readathon, and also I want to read more books by disabled authors anyway. I've got Tonguebreaker by Leah Lakshmi. I can't see what the rest of the words are. Samara Rishina. Yeah, so I think this is a poetry collection. I don't know why I put this on here. I have literally got no memory of it. But obviously it's there for a reason. I've got Riemble by Priya Hine. This is one that was recommended by Ali, who's another one whose channel I'll put flashes across the screen. I love her channel so much. She's one that's relatively new to me, but I adore her. There are Trans People Here by H.M. Melt. This is for a pick for Tansgale April, but again, it's one I want to get to anyway. Light from Uncommon Stars, Ryoka Aoki. Again, same for Tansgale April, but again, one I've heard about before. And next one is Unwieldy Creatures by Addie Tsai. This is I know this is sort of a retelling of Frankenstein, but it's sort of a queer one. And the author on Instagram, I think this is one that's being done for Jessie on BookTubes, runs a non-binary MB book club, and this is their pick for April. And I think actually Kevy's actually the host, so one of the co-hosts. So yeah, and the author was just so lovely. When I said I wanted to read it, so that just makes me want to read it even more. The Moccasin Maker is one for my challenge for the Indigenous Reads thing that I'm reading this year, but also again, same with the queer books, but we should be reading these all year, and they're what these books I want to get to all year anyway. Spellbound by Bishak Som, this is a graphic memoir. The Subtweet by Vivek Shreya. I've got a couple of Vivek Shreyas I think on here. I've never actually read anything by Vivek Shreya, and again, this is another one that I think this is actually quite a one that a lot of people have talked about, this specific book. This is a novel, though, by her. Seed Keeper by Diane Wilson. This is another one, Indigenous author, as is the next one, which is I Can Promise This by Christine Day. This is a middle grade book. I know about that much. Cripship, The Disability Justice. What does it say? I can't... An art of activism and sins invalid. Sorry, I just clicked on it. The Known World by Edward P. Jones. This is one I own physically, but because it's sat on my shelves for a while, it's one I want to get to, and it's easier to prioritise the audiobook. I just find that easier. So, To the River by Olivia Lang. This is another MB author, but another author again that I want to get to, as is Kay Tempest on Connection. I think I've read something by Kay Tempest before. I think I've read one of their poetry collections. I know they're poets also as well. So, yeah, this is On Fiction is On Connection is a non-fiction. So yeah. Then we've got Sovereign, which is book 2 in the Nemesis series by April Daniels. I read the first one by them, by her, a little while ago. Right, Fearlessly Different by Mickey Rowe. This is one I saw talked about. As soon as I remember, I'll flash it across the screen. Who channel recommended it to me. Then we've got Mr. Aldridge Regrets by Louise Hare. I've got another Louise Hare downstairs that I loved. This is sort of a mystery, but it's set, I think, in obviously, is it the 1930s, 40s or 50s? I don't know, but it's one I want to get to, and it's sort of based on a mystery surrounding a cruise ship, a singer, and murder mystery kind of thing. Then we've got The Commonwealth by Anne Patchett. Another one that's been on my shelves for a while, and another reason, because it's on Scribd, I was like, okay, it means, again, it will help me prioritise it. Ordinary Wonder Tales by Emily Urquhart. This is one I saw Jan Campbell talk about a little while ago, and it's Nonfiction essays collection. Then we have The Pink Hotel by Lisa Jacobs. This is one that I thought was going to potentially be listed for the Women's Prize. I haven't actually heard that many people talk about this. So if you've read The Pink Hotel, please tell me below, because I want to... Obviously, I know whether to keep it on my saved or get rid of it. I've got The Murder at the Vicarage, book 1 in the Marple series. Again, this is one, like, I keep saying I want to read, like, the Marple books, because I watched the series now, because when we were sick with COVID, I basically binged all the whole series, and I loved every single one. But I still would like to listen to the audiobooks, and everyone says how great these particular audiobooks are. I think they're narrated by, I can't remember, someone famous, again, put that across the screen. I've got A Burning by Megan Majumdar. This is one that's on my I think this is on my Diverse Spines books that I want to get to. And then the last two I have is Red, White and a Hole by Radhani LaRocca. I think this is an Indigenous author, but if not, it's still like a middle grade one that I want to get to. Then I have The Gay Agenda, a modern queer history and handbook by Ashley Malasso. So this is obviously non-fiction. So now I'm scrolling a different way, but it still is okay. The next one I've got is Amanar's Song by Henna Khan. I read the first book by this author a few years ago with my lovely friend Gaia from Gaia Athena. Then I've got Cloud Cookie Land by Anthony Doerr. This is Alice's favourite book of last year, Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. So obviously this is why I want to prioritise this one. I've got The Good Indian Daughter by Ruhi Lee. The Poisonwood Bible, which I know was Jem's favourite book from last year, and me and Emily hoping to get to this year. Then I've got Sweet Bean Paste by Duran Sekagawa. I can't remember who recommended this, but a few people I think had talked about this previously. Then I've got Resistance and Hope, Essays by Disabled People by Alice Wong. Alice Wong edited Disability Visibility last year, a couple of years ago. I read it. I think it was 2020 that came out, and that was a really great collection of essays by disabled writers. And I think this is sort of like maybe like something similar that had come before that. Then we've got Glass Town by Isabel Greenberg. On Scribd, there are so many amazing graphic memoirs and graphic like books and stories. So this is something I love about Scribd, because normally graphic novels are expensive. So yeah, I think it makes it worthwhile, that alone, for me anyway. Then we've got Monstrous by Marjorie Liu and Sana Tekada. I don't know why I've put this on here, being honest, because this isn't like a genre that I would normally like head to. I don't know how quickly I'll get to it, but I figure, it's good to try things outside your comfort zone. Then I have The Five Wounds by Kirsten Valdez Quaid. Loads of people loved this book last year. Charlie in particular recommended it to me because my lovely friend Charlie from Charles Heathcote, he thought it would be a very me book. So again, this is why this is on here. Then we've got Alien Nation, 36 True Tales of Immigration by Sofia Stefanovic. So obviously another non-fiction. Then we have The Secrets Between Us by Thriti Amargos. I read Thriti Amargos' other book, which was Honor, I think, last year, and I loved it. It nearly made my top 10, but I only just missed out. Then we have Swimming Back to Trout River, a novel by Linda Fru Retveng. I think a few people have mentioned this, so and I can't remember who. Sorry. If you're one of the people that recommended it to me, tell me in the comments. Sorry. Then I have Turtle Under Ice by Julia Del Rosero. I know the reason I put this on here is because, again, this is for the Indigenous Readathon, but I think this is an Indigenous Pacific Islander, I believe. I think that's correct, and it's a novel told in verse, as you can tell from like the wording on the screen. Then we've got Pew by Catherine Lacey. I know Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Pot loved this book last year. Then we've got Things They Lost by Okwi Oda. I haven't heard that many people talking about this, so I don't know. Let me know. Have you read this? Is this worth me reading? Then I have a couple of Nikki French saved because I read the first one and I wanted to just, as soon as I saw they had 3 more on here, I saved them straight away. They've got It's Friday on My Mind, Sunday Morning Coming Down, Saturday Requiem. I've only read the first one in this series, so I really need to get to Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday beforehand, then I can get to these ones. Then I've got We Are Never Meeting in Real Life by Samantha Irby. I've read a couple of these collections, which I'll put on the screen, which ones I've read. And I just love Samantha Irby's work. Like, she's so hilarious, and these are non-fictions and sort of accounts of her life, but she's just so good. So I just love her so much. They're proper comfort reads. Then we've got Elena Knows by Claudia Panera. This was on a million bajillion booktubers' favourite lists last year. I wrote down a list last year of all the booktubers' favourites, and honestly I think this was probably number 1 on that list. Honestly, I need to collate it all later, and if you guys are interested in hearing what the results were for that. But yeah. Years of Wonder by Geraldine Brooks. This is one that I think Mashti Sharappa said was a good place to start with Geraldine Brooks, which is why it's on there. Then we have The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. This is a series that I know Victoria, from what Victoria read, loved. So anything she loves, I always want to give a go because she's just the best. So then we've got No Light to Land On by Yara Ziahib. I think this has actually been getting a little bit of buzz again recently because I've heard a few people online, maybe on Instagram, talking about how good it is. And then it's finally the last 2. These are the last 2. Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany Jackson, T.D. Jackson. And this is one that Ashley from Bookish Realm loved, and a few other booktubers as well, but specifically I remember Ashley talking about it. Then lastly, but not leastly, we've got These Streets by Luann Goldie, and I've read Nightingale Point by this author, and this was one that was listed for the Women's Prize a few years ago, which I actually really loved. It was very hard hitting. It's based upon real life events, so if you haven't read that one, I highly recommend it. And I do want to get to this one as a result, so yeah. Right, that is all. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the books that are saved onto my Scribd. And let me know how you are in the comments below. Let me know, do you have Scribd? And what books have you got saved? What books are you currently reading? All of the good stuff. Take care, and sending you guys lots of love. Goodbye.